Well, hi, it's Elena.
And Michelle. Welcome back.
All right, let's see what it actually looks like now.
Oh, it's going to be right on. Ooh! Okay.
For this one, I had some reference pulled up of a real-life Belladonna. There are so many sections of a Belladonna, but I just chose one little section that looked picturesque. And this one has, I think, 3 flowers and then a bunch of, berries. Those are the toxic things.
Oh. Yeah, I thought they were a poisonous one.
Yeah.
That's a leaf, if I've ever seen one.
Better believe it.
What's the dots on it? Does it have Oh, no. Okay.
Right
it
now,
looked like it was on top of, part of the leaf from the angle.
No, I'm just doing my block out and just seeing what happens. Yeah, now I'm just positioning it as I look at some reference. And I'm just doing each little segment one by one. So there are some, I don't really know them, I didn't look up scientific research about these, but there are some berries that are green. I wonder if those are the ones that are not ripe yet, and then there are ones that are a really dark purple, and maybe those are the ripe ones, I don't know. And then the flowers themselves.
Now, is it like apples, the seeds of the fruit that come after the flower petals fall?
Perhaps. I've been looking up flowers and stuff to see what the fruits of each one are, and it's I think I told you how I looked up roses, and it's rose hip, that's not just a section of the flower, that is just the fruit of it. And then I wasn't able to find what the fruit for a lavender is, but maybe it's just every flower is edible. I don't know. I don't know enough about flowers.
We'll go eat a belladonna and see.
That's the toxic one. I can eat it once and then die.
Well, tell me how it is before.
Yeah, I wonder if it tastes really good. It would be worth it. I like how you give a baby a maybe possible allergen while you're in the hospital parking lot.
Yeah.
I go to a hospital and I eat some belladonna berries. Guys, get ready.
Yes. Eat a berry, get bit by a black widow.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever snake is the most poisonous, have one of those bite you.
Yeah.
What other things?
Get a shark as well.
Yeah.
Have Chow Chow come scratch me. Toxic scratch.
Yes.
But yeah, this video, it's funny because sometimes I'll say, I don't really have anything specific to mention here, but then I'll end up thinking of something right on the spot. But I don't know. So I think I really want to get to some questions that we have. So there was the one question I had for you about It's Always Sunny. I was wondering, do they ever kill anyone? This pause is so...
I don't think...
you don't know offhand?
I can't remember. The only thing I'm thinking of is they, this one recurring character, they treated him so badly. He was just, a normal stand-up guy in the beginning, and they just, continually torture him. They... I think he has lost limbs and eyesight. They got him addicted to heroin or something else. He's homeless. I don't know. It's all of this is because of what the gang did to him.
Wow. So they just short of killed that guy.
Yes.
They tried their best. Wow.
But I can't think of one where they killed anyone. If they did, it wouldn't be on purpose.
Yeah. It just seems like a lot of things spin out of their control, and
I can't say that they haven't for sure. So it's very possible they had. This was a ridiculous show.
Yeah.
They did horrible things. And it was all really good entertainment.
Yeah. Gosh.
And so cute that what's his face was a part of it. Frank, I forget his real character.
Danny DeVito?
Yeah, Danny DeVito. Because it was just they were just some friends that started making a show, and then I don't know how it happened. I feel like they kind of just asked Danny DeVito, and he's like, sure. And then it was just a lovable show for him too, and then he just kept being there.
Right now I'm just modeling out these flowers so that they're all unique from each other, and Chow Chow is trying to nuzzle into my pajamas. What other questions did I have?
What other questions
So I had one about The Office. I thought of a new one. So you enjoy the dinner episode. And from my experience, most fans do. Dinner party episode. And that used to be the bane of mine and Emma's existence, because when we went over to hang out with our group of friends, they would often put that on. I feel like it happened 5 times in the 4 years that we were going to college together. Like, it was unnecessary. They all enjoyed it a lot, but neither of us were into the show, so we couldn't really. I think over the years I've gotten, because I know how much you like the show and you've talked about that episode specifically, like, I can, third party enjoy it. I can enjoy your enjoyment of it. Okay. I was wondering, though, that is one of the more awkward episodes. Are there any episodes that are way too awkward for you to handle? Vicariously. That was the word I was thinking of.
No, I don't feel like there's any. I'm like thinking, do I ever not want to watch any? Do I ever skip any? I just watch them all through. If I watch it, I enjoy all of them. I can't think of a single one that I wouldn't want to see. Even if it was uncomfortable or I don't like relationships, I still watch it. I don't know. I can't think of something that's too cringy.
I know one I had to leave the room. It was like with Scott's Tots.
Yeah. I mean, I sit through a lot of horrible stuff. I mean, Always Sunny is way worse, and I watched every bit of that. Okay. Yeah, they're just parts that are awkward and uncomfortable, and you just got to bear with it.
Okay.
But it's all okay, because no matter what he does, you still love Michael Scott.
The royal you.
And you cry when he leaves, and he's the same guy that he was from the start.
Yeah, it was Michael Scott's execution cry relief.
And like another like aspect to shows is that I like to know like how the actors feel about things, like if they enjoy each other's company, if they have a good time filming, and they do, and it's like all friendship and fun times always. And I like watching the bloopers, and I like hearing just extra commentary. So like the dinner party episode, there are so many bloopers, and like they just crack up and they can't finish scenes, and like it's just some parts of them. So it makes it more lovable that the actors had a fun time.
Mm-hmm. You said you had vague questions for me.
Yeah, I wanted to know more about Zoro, just in general.
Okay.
Tell me his backstory, tell me who he is, and tell me if he's cool.
Okay, so Zoro, he's their swordsman. He's named pretty aptly, like I think it is referential to the character Zoro. But yeah, he's the first one who officially joins Luffy. His goal is to be the best swordsman ever. Gosh, it was kind of intense because I was watching the live action and it was showing his backstory, and I was nervous that they were going to change an aspect of it because of the way they built up to a particular fight scene, because it's like in his flashbacks in the anime, it shows that he had this, like he was a student at a sword fighting school.
What's happening here?
I'm just placing
What are these little ones? Oh, they go with the berries?
Yeah, and then and then I need to morph those around them.
I thought you were just modeling new Belladonnas and you had to like extend the bottle, like a new way of modeling them.
Nah.
How interesting. They're like little bowls.
Yeah. And then I make them all unique in their own way too. And I realized I could have like copied a few of them over. Like for the leaves, when I do those, I make just 5 of them and I copy those and just adjust them and resize them so they look different enough. With these, I just didn't really feel like doing that. I wanted them all to be unique, so I did that.
When you placed all of them, you did it from one screen. It looked like magic, because then you eliminated everything else to just see these, and you had placed them right next to each like magic of editing. But I don't think you edited a single thing. I think you got it first shot.
Yeah, sometimes I use the transitions between my like perspective changes to just be like, I placed it. I placed it. I don't need to get into the details of how I placed it. So thanks for noticing that I worked hard on it and that I edited it so flawlessly. But yeah, that's something I like to do. It's my favorite tactic. Okay, but Zoro. So in the anime, when we see his flashback, so he was a student at a sword fighting school when he was younger, and there was this other girl who was like, she was a few years older than him, and she always beat him.
Nami.
Not Nami. Oh. Her name is Queen.
Why was that so angry?
Because Nami's not a swordswoman. They didn't know each other when they were children.
I thought you'd be proud of me for knowing a name.
I mean, congratulations. I've been talking about this show since I was 16. Thank you for knowing one name.
Tell me how you really feel.
So, yeah, it's a different girl. She just, she always bested him, and they like swore an oath that like one of them was going to be the best, and she ended up dying shortly after. Like she strips downstairs. That's the official reason. But I think in a dub, they wanted to clean that up and make it seem less scary, and so they changed it to something even scarier, like getting murdered, whatever. Anyway, so she died. It had nothing to do with Zoro, but now he feels like he has to carry her dream and his as well and become the best. Anyway, but it was, like I was saying, when I was watching the live action, I was not sure if they were going to change things, because in the anime they were already like just in the middle of practicing every night, like dueling each other with real swords, yada yada. But in the live action, they showed the build up to how that occurred, and it was like, yeah, I challenge you, and like don't hold back, like if you want to kill me, just kill me. I don't know. So I was like, oh my gosh, are they gonna change Zoro's story so that he kills her? Like that would change everything, and like his guilt drives him and all that, and like no, none of that happened. It was a dramatic fight. I was nervous the whole time. I had to pause and Google to see if anything like that happened, but it was totally fine. Anyway, so yeah, he just wants to be the best. But he's super loyal to Luffy. He's like the most loyal. There's this point around episode like 400 or so where someone is like, the whole gang, they just finished fighting this super strong foe, and they were up for like all night doing it, and so they were all just like to the end of their limits, and so they pass out. But then this other strong dude just out of nowhere just shows up and is like, I'm gonna kill Luffy. But it's like they're all passed out, and so Zoro manages to stay awake, and he's like, no, like kill me instead. I'm his first mate. I have like, you want to kill him because he wants to be the king of pirates, like I want to be the greatest swordsman in the world. We have equal ambitions, so like killing me will be just as fulfilling as killing him, like whatever. So it's like even his goals, like he would sacrifice that for Luffy and for the rest of the group. So he's super duper loyal.
Are you crying?
No.
I was reading about Zoro and his swords and how they're like all famous.
Yeah. So he has 3 swords. He holds one in each hand and then one in his mouth. Like side to the side. On the handle. It's fine.
And he fights with it?
He does. He's good. He worked really hard. So the first sword that's famous that he has is one that he got from his dead friend. It was a sword that she had inherited, and so he inherited it from her to carry her dream, yada yada. And it was just like a family heirloom of hers, but he learns, he just meets some sword enthusiast who is like, oh my gosh, like this is the something, and like this must be worth, like if you sold it, it would be worth like $15 million or something like that. Anyway, and then other times like there are certain fights he wins where he just inherits a sword from whoever he's, like there was one in one arc where he fights this person who, I don't know, is just like a good sport about losing and is like, take this sword, I can't use it anymore. So he ends up getting some cool swords. And other times I think he was, like towards the beginning of the series, he goes to a sword shop and he finds one that's like a demon sword. And it's like, this sword gets all of its owners killed. And he is like, this is the one for me. He like does a little test. He like flings it up into the air and like holds his arm out to see if it'll chop him. And it just goes by seamlessly. So it's like, this sword isn't going to kill me.
Oh dear.
So it's fine. Yeah. So then the owner of the shop is like, oh my gosh, like you're the only one who can use it. Take it for free. All that jazz.
Do people try and take or like fight him to get his swords? Are they a hot commodity?
They're a hot enough commodity. There's this one person who, like, the person who he met who was a sword enthusiast, like, the one who told him how cool his sword was, when she found out that he was a pirate, she was just like, that's so disrespectful. Like, you shouldn't be wielding this blade while you're doing such bad stuff. So, like, fight me for it. But, like, she couldn't win because she just didn't train as hard as he did. So, yeah, but she's ends up being a character who follows them around, along with Smoker, who I mentioned before.
So loud.
Just a keyword. Anyways, Smoker and her name is Tashigi, like, they end up following the Straw Hat people around. But, like, the two of them are pretty cool, because it's, like, usually they have to contend with the Marines, and it's kind of stressful. But, like, those guys, I don't know, they want to help people more than they want to, like, arrest the Straw Hats. So it's, like, in times when they have to make that decision, they always choose the right thing. Although they haven't met up, I think they've only met up, like, twice. But each time, we're always supposed to be endeared to them. And, like, Luffy's always happy to see them. Like, oh my gosh, it's that guy again, hi!
My other character questions, tell me more about Sanji.
Sanji, he's their cook.
Okay. Okay, so I know Luffy, he's a captain.
Mm-hmm.
I know Chopper's a doctor. Zoro's swordsy guy. Nami is something.
She's their navigator.
Okay. And then there is... Who's the young boy? Is that Sanji?
Young boy.
He was a young boy in the beginning, and I
Kobe?
guess yeah.
With the pink hair?
Is he part of the crew?
No, he and Luffy became friends really quickly, and Kobe wants to be in the Marines instead, so they are friends, but they're not on the same side of things, you know? But yeah, he's not part of the crew. But Luffy's still, like, they have met up maybe once or twice since they had their first goodbyes, and they're always, like, friendly.
Ooh, coloring!
Yeah, but they're friendly, they get along, but Kobe hopes one day to be strong enough to arrest Luffy. I need to ask a question so this doesn't just become the One Piece show. Gosh, and I was hoping, like, eventually I'll get people to ask us questions in the comments so that we don't have to think of, like, our own questions. We're going to run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, if they ask us stuff that we both know, like Hamilton or Glee. Or...
Oh my gosh. I feel like I would love to talk about Glee with you if someone prompted us.
Or Harry Potter.
Yeah. Well, hang on. With Glee, we only watched into, like, 3.5 seasons of it.
Yeah,
but you watched a little. Did you watch more?
Don't ask me questions.
Because the girl who plays Supergirl, she was in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see her moments?
Yeah.
So I never met her.
Okay.
So I think that was season 4. Because, yeah, I think I stopped halfway into season 3 then. Or did I? Gosh.
I take back my yeah.
Oh, no.
Because I'm remembering when Darren Criss was in Supergirl. That's a little different.
Okay.
Strike that, reverse it kind of moment.
Okay.
So I can't remember her being on Glee.
Alrighty. I managed to think of one for Desperate Housewives.
Oh.
And it's so vague, I hope you should know it. I've never watched a single episode. I was wondering what the tone of the show is. Is it a comedy or is it a dramedy?
It's not even comedy, really. It's just very dramatic.
Oh, so it's not funny at all?
If there are funny parts, it's just because people can have humor in their lives.
Oh my god.
But it's not meant to make you laugh. Well, it's just like any show could be funny if someone says something funny.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
No, there's just like so much going on. It's not so much like Once Upon a Time where there's backstory continually, but it is like you get to look deeper into people's lives here and there.
Okay.
And like you get to pick houses every once in a while that you dive deeper into.
What are they so, like, the title is Desperate. Like, what are they so desperate about?
Desperate Housewives. I've never thought so hard on the title. It's just a group of girls that live in the neighborhood, and they hang out, and then there's lots of drama in their lives. Like, there are crimes on the street, and there's moments throughout, like cheating and affairs and children locked in basements.
Whoa.
And stuff.
What?
It's pretty crazy.
Man. Oh, that reminds me, if anyone asks us questions about Teen Wolf, we watched a few seasons of that as well. That's another mutual interest. Because I was just remembering Isaac. His thing.
Yes. Wasn't it like a cooler? Or
yeah, it was like maybe it was like an unplugged-in deep freezer.
Yes, that was it, yeah.
Okay, so that was my Desperate Housewives question.
I like the texture on these berries.
Oh,
I like
thank
the
you.
purple ones are smoother. And these green ones we have more rumpleies. They're fun. And those leafy lines. Some real choice leafy lines.
Yeah. I've been getting better in Substance Painter with using generators, so I think that the leaves were the only things that I had to do hand drawing with for the most part. And I had little, like, lines on some of those thingies there.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, and then this is fun. Like, this is... What I love about generators is I put some outliney things on each of those bulb things, but then I put a generator on so it'll sporadically, like, yeah, make it kind of, I keep wanting to say gunky. Like, it'll just make it not a solid color. So I do that a few other times, and it's fun. I'm having fun learning about generators. I've only been using this program, 3 years, and now I'm finally using it, like, the way it's intended.
Oh, my books. So I read books. The first thing I read was A Princess and the Pea book.
Okay.
This next one, I met some other princesses, but we don't know the name of this princess that I started with yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like, based on what I've read so far, can we guess what the story's going to be?
Okay. I'm ready.
So she is walking these halls. She's like being super sneaky, and she has to climb up on top of this arch thing.
Okay.
She like takes off her socks and her shoes. She sticks them in her like hidden pockets of her dress. She climbs up this arch thing and like throws this other loud thing down a hall to get these guards to go after it.
Ooh.
And then once they are distracted, she goes through into the throne room, and her father, the king, is there, and he's like, "You did it. Here's the time you did it."
Oh.
And then the guards come back in, and they're like, "Why would you leave?" There's like a noise. Well, why would you leave for a noise? You guys are supposed to be guarding me. So she was testing the system or something. I don't know who she could be. Yeah, that was it. Just her and the king. She's a princess. She's being sneaky around the castle.
Man, maybe it's... I feel like it could be a version of Snow White.
Could be, yeah. I was thinking possibly I read one story, it was a Princess and the Frog one, where they made the girl seem very, like, demure and, like, innocent and fragile outside. Mm-hmm. But normally she was like this. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's not always the trend for a Princess and the Frog princess. So, yeah. Ooh, it's done.
So done.
So yeah, Snow White's a good guess.
So just read enough so that you can answer the question next week. Okay. And everyone else, make your guesses. Make your guess and put it in the comments.
Thanks for stopping by. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum.